Hi, this is Mrs. Guthrie, and I am going to walk you through Unit 2, Lesson 2. This is the first lesson that I'm going to do for Unit 2, and I will be following through and doing the rest of these as well. This is especially for students who are working through this independently so that when they get stuck, they have a place to go to get help. For the videos that are embedded in code.org, you are encouraged to go watch those independently. As you're going through code.org, you will get a better video quality than if I try to play a video through the video recording. The audio and video will not line up and it'll be terrible. So we're going to get started, like I said, Lesson 2 in Unit 2, and I am currently on Bubble 1 or Level 1, whichever you want to call it. This is an introduction to Web Lab, which is what we call this program in code.org. This is where you do web pages. So this is an introductory, very quick level. They say to try type something in the workspace. So I'm going to put my name is Mrs. Guthrie. Period. And it says press the refresh and save to see it in the preview area. And as you can see, we have 3 areas. Really, technically, we have 4. You have all the instructions at the top. But in Web Lab, you're mainly dealing with the files, the workspace, which is where you type, and then the preview, what it looks like on the web page. Technically, I could publish this web page, and it would be a very boring web page with just my name on it. I'm going to skip 2 because it is a video. Please do watch the videos. They will give you more instruction and just important information. We're going to click Finish and move on to Bubble 3. So, Bubble 3 is loading, and in this section, we're going to be looking at using the Inspector tool. The Inspector tool gives you an opportunity when you're looking at a page that's already been done, or even your own bugging, trying to debug like a problem. You can highlight a section on either the workspace or the preview, and it will show you how that is coded and what it matches up to on the other side. So it says to click the tip, how do I use the Inspector tool? These tips are, if you're working through code.org independently, you should read through these, and it gives you the information you need to know to be successful. It's telling us how to turn the Inspector tool on and off by clicking right there, and that allows us to hover and be able to actually see if I want to type something like welcome to Web Lab, it's showing me what that looks like in the coding. If I scroll down here, you can see how things light up depending on where I'm looking at. So you can see the P tags, which is what we're going to be learning about in this lesson, surrounding the text in some places, and heading tags surrounding the text in other places. You can also see a bulleted list down here and kind of get an idea of how they coded it. It's okay if you don't understand it all for right now. Lesson or Bubble 4 is also a video. Again, when you're doing this independently, please watch those videos. Even if you have to go back and click on just the videos to do before you do your work. So we're going to look at Level 5. Levels 5 and 6 is where you actually do stuff. And we are going to be adding text to the body of a new web page in Web Lab. Something that I'm looking at the top, and it says, when you start any Web Lab project, it will automatically add doc type, HTML head, and body tags to your project. Please do not delete or change these tags in any way. when you add content to the project, you're going to do it between the body tags, which in this case is lines 6 and 7. That's where you're going to add to this web page and start typing. So nothing changes from lines 1 through line 5. Nothing changes on lines 8 and 9, although they will move down on the page. So it says, do this. Write 3 separate sentences about any topic you'd like inside the body tags of your web page. So we're going to type, we are in, and it can be anything you want to write about. We are learning HTML coding. We will learn other languages as well. Okay, I have typed 3 separate sentences about any topic right here. You can type about your pets. You can type about yourself, your family. You could just write, this is sentence 1, this is sentence 2, this is sentence 3, but you should type in 3 separate sentences. And then once you've done that, make sure you're in the right place between the body tags. And move this little, you're going to click the finish button. That will automatically move you to bubble 6, and it'll take your stuff that you've just done and it's going to move it over to the next level. You will see a symbol on bubbles 5 and 6. I'll point it out. It looks kind of like a link here, a chain link. That shows you that 5 and 6 are linked together, that what you just did in 5 is moving over to 6. This is the meat and potatoes of this lesson today. And it says, using paragraph tags. Notice that it says we're going to use the opening P and closing P. These are our P tags or paragraph start and end tags placed around the text to indicate it is part of a paragraph. Placing text between paragraph start and end tags lets the computer know that it should be treated differently, often just spacing it out from other text. So, it tells us that we are supposed to place the text we just wrote inside at least 2 separate paragraphs by surrounding those paragraphs with the P tags. So the extra help over here, it tells us what is a paragraph element. It talks about the opening and closing tags. How do you make multiple paragraphs? Here is an example. This is an example of, this is a paragraph. It has 2 sentences. And you see how it's in opening and closing paragraph tags. And then your second set of P tags is around this other set. So we're going to do this with whatever text we have done. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to add a P tag. To type those less than and greater than signs that you see on either side of the P, you're going to hold down the shift and you'll see it above the comma and the period. I'm going to let We Are in Computer Science Discoveries be its own paragraph. Oops, I forgot to put in the closing part of the closing tag. That slash mark should go in front of the P, not after it. For proper coding, syntax, proper coding, you should start your new tags on a new line. Oops, did it again. There we go. By the way, you notice that when I forgot to put the closing tag, you saw some pink show up. That means there's an error somewhere above that spot. And as soon as I put in the closing tag, it went away. When you click Finish, that tells code.org that you are done working on that page. It does not mean, if it colors it in for you and it lets you move on, it does not mean that you are totally done. Doesn't mean you got it right, because code.org does not grade your work. It sometimes will say, if you haven't done anything, it'll say it looks like you're not finished, but it doesn't actually grade it. Bubble 7 does not have to be submitted for a grade. Bubble 7 is a challenge, and it wants you to debug it by fixing the broken tags. So if we look at Bubble 7, we will see that the sentence should be on its own, so should this one. Each of these sentences should be on their own line. What is wrong with this sentence? When we look at the code, how do we start? If this sentence should be on its own, there needs to be a closing p tag at the end. And then we will start the next one with a tag. What is wrong with this sentence? Well, I see that this one, and this is why you want to start your p tags all on the lines to each new line. It's much easier to debug, and I see that this one has a slash mark in it, which it should not have. And I also see that my closing tag does not have a slash mark. Once I have debugged that, you can come over here and click refresh and save if it doesn't show up automatically. This is what it should look like when you're done. So, if you're in my class, we are submitting a screenshot of Bubble 6, and that will show me that you are done working on it. When you click finish, it will take you automatically to lesson 3. That is the end of this lesson. I hope you learned how to use p tags, and we're going to learn more about heading tags in the next lesson.